At the beginning of May, I thought I had a plan. I was already on light duty, working telemetry instead of ICU, going to physical therapy, and hoping my Achilles would finally get better. Instead, May became a month of waiting for answers. Between constant pain, MRI, an injection, alarm fatigue, and my contract coming to an end, I found myself facing a lot more uncertainty than I expected. So today, I'm sharing what happened in May and where the debt journey stands at the end of the month. May started with me trying to adjust to a completely different work environment. Instead of ICU, I was working telemetry while on light duty. Physically, it was easier. Mentally, it was exhausting at times. Telemetry alarms are constant, with some shifts being worse than others. By the end of those shifts, my brain felt completely dead and numb. I would come home feeling tired in a completely different way than I'm used to. Outside of work, I was still trying to enjoy just the little moments, going to my favorite cafe, getting a lovely hot chai, and a breakfast burrito. And then trying to spend some time with Orion. And if I could, just a little bit of exploring of Fargo. Mainly just trying to maintain some sense of normal life while everything else felt so uncertain. Thank you. The biggest issue hanging over the month was my Achilles. Physical therapy was not giving me the progress I had hoped for. So eventually we moved on to more testing. I had that MRI. I then went and had that lovely injection in my Achilles. And I spent a lot of time waiting to see if either one would finally provide some answers. The hardest part wasn't the appointments, it was not knowing what the outcome would be. At the same time, my contract was getting closer and closer to ending. Normally, I'd already be looking ahead to the next assignment. Usually, about 6 weeks before, I've already got another assignment assigned. But with everything going on medically, it felt impossible to make long term plans. Every answer seemed to create another question. Would I need surgery? Would I be able to work? What would recovery look like? I didn't have any of those answers. Then Memorial Day arrived, and unexpectedly, it brought up a lot of emotions for me. I found myself thinking about my parents quite a bit. Grief has a way of sneaking up on you. Sometimes it's a date on the calendar. Sometimes it's a memory. And sometimes it's just sitting quietly with your thoughts. It reminded me that life is more than just goals and spreadsheets. May wasn't my biggest month of debt payoff, but emotionally, it may have been one of the most important months mentally. Because for the first time, I was forced to think about what would happen if things didn't go according to plan. So I still have no credit card debt. That's great. My Singing River Health System bill is down to $379.19. The trailer's down to $5,000. The national debt relief is down to $5,558.84. The passport is down to $52,801.51. And the penny Mac is down to $223,278.42, which brings the total debt down to $287,017.96. At the beginning of the month, the debt was $288,881.31. So we'll subtract off the $287,017.96, which means we paid off a total of $1,863.35. Yeah. Even with all the uncertainty, the numbers still moved in the right direction. Progress may have been a bit smaller than what I'm used to, but it's still progress, and we'll take it. Looking back, May wasn't about finding answers. It was about learning to live with uncertainty. I finished the month with more questions than I started with, but I also finished it knowing that all the work I've put into paying down debt, building savings, and getting my finances organized was creating a stronger foundation. And sometimes that's what progress looks like. Not certainty, just continuing to move forward anyway. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day, and I'll see you next month. Bye.